Hello everyone, we are back to our little tier list session today with all the Tech Tree vehicles of rank 3 for Germany. As per usual, if you want to know all the details on how this tier list works, I invite you to watch the first couple of minutes of the first video where I go through all the explanations, link in the description. Alright, so the first vehicle starting our ranking today is the 8.8cm Flak 37, also known as the Flak Bus. I will put this one in D tier, not for the poor performances, but for its niche uses. The gun it carries is great at 4.0, since it's the gun of a Tiger 1. You will penetrate a lot of enemies, you have 6 crew members, making it very difficult to one-shot you, unless the enemy tank uses an overpressure shell, and you have a very good base reload of 6.5 seconds, which is quite short for a tank destroyer. The problem lies in the fact that, well, as you can expect, you are humongous. You travel very slowly and, well, in the end you're very poorly protected. Like many half-tracks, you can barely shoot over the driver's cabin and you have only -3 degrees of gun depression anyway. This vehicle is a great sniper and won't do well on many maps. Reserve it for wide, open and flat maps if you can, and keep your distance. Next we have an optional vehicle, the M44. This one is an easy A tier, probably one of the best tank destroyers at 4.0. The M44 has great speed and an HE shell so powerful that you can up tier it up to at least 7.0, and the reload isn't that bad either. 19 seconds may seem a lot, but most high explosive slingers are around the same reload values. Just be careful because this vehicle carries ammo all over the place and it won't take much to kill you. Up next we have the Nashorn and the Waffenträger. Both these tank destroyers carry the famous long 88mm gun, which is one of the best guns Germany can get. I'll put the Nashorn in B tier. Just for the stats, I think this tank destroyer should be in C tier, because it's very vulnerable, but it's still a good option if heavy armor is a problem for you, since you can basically ignore it with this gun. The Waffenträger will be put in D tier, both because of the performance and because it's a bit niche. The gun, as we said, is great. The mobility, however, is pure trash. You are very slow. The driver's hatch or optics, I don't remember exactly which one it is, can also obstruct your aiming from time to time, and the only survivability tool that you have at your disposal is your low profile. Finally, you have less gun depression than the average open-top tank destroyers with only -8 degrees. You will struggle on hilly maps. We now reach the first heavy tank model of the German tech tree, Tiger 1. We have two variations available, the H1 and the E. The H1 will go in B tier. It's in straight continuity with the Panzer III. Great armor once angled, but this time the gun is pure bliss at this BR. You can unlock one of the most overpowered APHE shells with this tank, and once you do, the Tiger becomes a one-shot machine after you penetrate your target. It only has a few weaknesses like the big turret cupola or annoying design elements like the smoke launchers on the side of the hull that keeps it from being A tier. Problem solved with the E model. Cupola size massively reduced, making you even more difficult to kill, and a smoke mortar. I'll put the E model in A tier for that reason. Keep in mind, however, that you start facing some very heavy targets, especially in up tiers, which can make your life a lot harder and reduce the effectiveness of your armor. Still, one of the best heavies Germany has to offer. Let's talk Panthers now. We have two. The first one is the VK 3002. This is a straight A tier tank. Having access to the Panther gun at 5.0 is just extremely powerful. This model doesn't have much armor, but gains increased mobility. Make sure to flank with the VK and you'll be good to go. Also bonus points for how clean it looks. The next model is the first quote-unquote real Panther, the Panther D. It will also go in A tier. This time your upper front plate is nearly impenetrable at this BR. Only a handful of vehicles can ignore it, forcing the rest to go for your turret and cupola. The only downside of this vehicle is the terrible reverse speed and turning rotation speed. In a brawl, you may struggle or be at a disadvantage, so best to use this one at mid-range. You also sit at 5.3, which lets you avoid all the annoying 6.7 US and Russian heavy tanks should you end up in a full up tier. Let's move on to SPAA now. We have 3 this time. The first one is the Ostwind. This SPAA is A tier, because it has access to devastating anti-air belts which can one-shot a plane or rip a wing off very easily. It also has a continuous rate of fire, letting you adjust your aim on the fly. Just make sure you don't overheat the guns, however. The Verbal Wind will go in C tier. Instead of continuous firing autocannon, this time you get 4 autocannons firing at the same time, but you need to reload between each salvos. And this makes you very vulnerable should the plane avoid your shots. I feel like you need to play way more cautiously with this one compared to the Ostwind, or bait your enemies a lot more. The last SPAA at this rank is the Ostwind 2, which honestly should be your go-to SPAA until you reach Cold War vehicles. An Ostwind with an additional gun? A tier as well. Compared to the Ostwind one, the performances are very similar. This one is just slightly more forgiving since you have 2 guns instead of 1. And once again we conclude this list with a second line of tank destroyers. The first 2 are very similar. Their design is just slightly different. You have the Jagdpanzer IV and the Jagdpanzer 38T, also called the Hetzer. The Jagdpanzer IV will go in B tier. It is a well-protected tank destroyer with good mobility, but the gun starts to show its limits at 4.3. The Hetzer will go in C tier because I think, first of all, it's worse than the Jagdpanzer IV. The side and roof armor are very vulnerable, the lower front plate is very visible and is a major weak spot. You are slower than the Jagdpanzer IV, and as we said, the gun penetration is very average. Both of these tank destroyers also don't have a lineup at 4.3, so all in all, I would just consider skipping them. The last tank on our list today is the Panzer IV 70. Basically, this tank destroyer is a much better version of the Jagdpanzer IV. It gets the gun of the Panther on a very sturdy and resistant chassis. This tank is a very good sniper and a nightmare for medium caliber guns which will bounce off your armor. You also don't have many weak spots to exploit, just make sure you don't get flanked. For all those reasons, it will sit in B tier. So those were all the Tech Tree vehicles at rank 3. Tomorrow will be the last tier list and will be about rank 4 vehicles. Hope today's list was helpful to you. Let me know if you have eventual questions or recommendations, and I'll see you in the next one.